Yo, what's going on, guys? This is going to be my most complicated guide yet because this is probably the most or second most complicated system, probably most complicated system in the game. So this is like your gear and stuff like that. This is like the gear that you put on to pretty much make sure that you have the best stats in the game for that specific character, for these specific builds that you plan on building the character off of. If you don't know how to build your characters in general, just go ahead and check out my character building guide. It's inside the guides playlist. I hope all those guides help you guys out. If you guys appreciate the guides, just drop a like. I'd appreciate it. It helps out the channel, especially building up to a bigger One Punch Man community-based channel is the direction I'm aiming for. So, freaking, let's start talking about memory chips and let's talk about how to reforge them. Let's talk about how you get these memory chips. What are your best chances at getting these memory chips? Are there better rates than other memory chips? We're going to find out today. So, first things first, we're just going to go ahead and dip into the fact that you can forge and make memory chips. Not reforge, but forge memory chips. And this is memory chip merging. So, memory chip merging is actually specifically based off of what rank you are. So, for instance, I have unlocked rank 6, but the max rank is 15. So freaking that just depends on how far you actually get in the game, and obviously like that. So the farther you get in the memory chips game, the farther you get. We have formula calluses. These are very, very rare and very, very hard to get. So you're probably not going to really see these very often now because we're all still technically in the early game. We haven't really scratched on the late game yet or the mid game. So we're still, everyone's pretty much in the same boat here. You're either like, at that level or you're whaling to get beyond that level, which is totally up to you. I'm not judging. I planned on whaling on this game too, but freaking, I haven't gotten to that point yet. I'm still trying to build it to where I could build this specific channel to be One Punch Man related, so I can keep doing what I want to do and keep pushing out content for you guys. So let's talk about memory chips. Let's talk about what makes these memory chips different and how reforging is going to work and stuff like that. So first things first, this is specifically merging. So you can split them. Let's say you got a bunch of rank twos you don't want no more, then you just kind of grab all these rank twos, and then you could just go based off sequence. You could go based off descending order. You could go based off all white, all this, all that, and then you could just get rid of all these extra ones you don't need. See, and then you just get a bunch of the memory info. You get rid of these, boom. Now you have a bunch of extra stuff to pretty much craft more with, so to speak, and you could change them up. Now, I'm going to tell you this now. Reforging only happens to the purple cards and the yellow cards, or orange cards, so to speak. So you can't really reforge any of these cards after you make them. If they are blue, well, honestly, you can't make blue and you can't make white. Those are just going to be out there from getting the other way that I'll talk about, getting that system of getting these. But let's just talk about over here first. So over here, we can passively talk about these stats in general. So we got the main stat, two substats, the passive skill, and the passive skill orange quality unlocked specifically for this one. So you can get an orange quality passive skill, but we're mostly going to end up with some of these. So what this means is the whole pool is only going to be recommended for this much. So for instance, if we talk about these are the preview pools, and the highest chance you're going to get is some of these. You're just going to get these. There's no chances. You're just going to get these. This is what you're getting from the pools, and this pool is very, very dependent on the latest, newest characters. Obviously, that's why it changed. And now we got Piece of Cake by Terrible Tornado because she just released. So this is just going to be like if you're metagaming and stuff like that, just keep a lookout for being able to make these specific cards and stuff like that. With the orange ones, it's the exact same. The only difference is that the stats are going to be higher. So for instance, attack goes up to 51 here, attack goes up to 51. But if we go over here, you'll see freaking the main stat pool is these. So HP 796, you go over here, 768. So it's like slight changes. It's very slight changes. The bigger change is just the amount of boosts you're going to end up getting. So that's just pretty much the forging aspect of it. Now, if we actually do talk about reforging, that's going to be inside of your characters section, so to speak. So if we go to memory and will, you'll see that we have all these from memory and all these from will. You'll see that I have a bunch of characters that have a bunch of these things, and I did test it out myself. So whenever you do reforge something, it locks all the other paths of reforging. So for instance, I'm going to keep reforging this, right? But it's just going to give me different stats. So you're not going to be able to forge any of these ever again. But this is like a very, very tricky system that I would not mess with unless you planned on messing with this system yourself. So for instance, if we reforge this, you'll see that I don't have an option because I never got that last one. That's going to be a thing. It also depends on if it's blue, you can't reforge these at all. If it doesn't have that bonus trait, you can't reforge that. So very, very important to like keep a lookout for what is reforgeable and what is not reforgeable, so to speak. So for instance, if we go over here, reforge this, you'll see that I have the rubber fruit, which pretty much means that this is like shock resistant, and utmost yearning, which is what do you call it? A Saitama stat. So if I just reforge this, this will lead to me being able to change this to a different substat. So this is the passive stats. So obviously I'm going to change this to Mind Reader so I could get some crit rate. And as you can see, I cannot reforge any of these other stats because it's not possible anymore. I just can't do it. But depending on what stat you get, you could keep going and keep going and keep going and really just go for what you want. So for instance, let's say we want to change one of the substats and we don't like attack or assault attack. Then in that case, we'll change it and we'll go for, let's say I want composure reduction because this character is more into breaking shields. So I want more composure reduction on Smile Man because that's his card right there. So composure reduction, huge. And composure reduction is that card. And technically, you can keep switching these out depending on which character you're aiming for. If you want a metagame, it's the way to go. Just know that it's going to take a lot of resources in order to keep working on these characters. So I would prefer you work on the other method of actually getting these specific stats. So if we go over here, obviously, commissions. Commissions are pretty huge, and the best way to actually farm cards in the early game, and for right now, before actually making them yourself, is probably just by doing your commissions, leveling up your commission level and stuff like that. For instance, I'm level 6 right now, and I'm going to be able to unlock the next one once I get to 30. But as you can see, I could get higher rank 6 commissions and unlock more monsters inside my monster encyclopedia, which are going to give me rate ups on these specific things. Like now I could get Puri Puri Prisoner affixes at a higher rate. So it just really just depends on you working on figuring out which one has better rates. Obviously, these team ones mostly have these specific ones, which is increased dodge, smaller ones that can tell you exactly what are the rates on these. And the rates will be small, but they do have bonus rates depending on the character and depending on the actual fight. As you can see, this one's Silver Fang over here, and if we look over here at the mechanisms, you'll see everything else goes down to 1%. But there's an 8% chance you'll get all firing bullet or river trail for these specific characters. And, it's all completely randomized, hence why if you're going to start doing reforging, I would suggest waiting until we get a more clear idea of how far we're going to be able to go with the reforging system. There's obviously different ways we could do affixes and stuff. Thank you guys for watching. Take it easy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell down below, and goodbye.